What's up, people? We are back with more of Katawa Shoujo. In the previous video, Rin was really hard at work, working on her new paintings for the gallery, the exhibition that is coming up hopefully fairly soon. So yeah, she's working really hard on that, and Hisao is actually missing Rin a little bit, I feel. Because we were always meeting each other on like a daily basis, you know, and outside of Rin, Hisao isn't actually close with any of the other people. So, and now that Rin is actually not like at school, they're unable to meet at and whenever they really want to. I have a feeling that Hisao is going to sort of make an effort to try and be involved within both just Rin's the gallery, the exhibition that is coming up. So yeah, I think that's why he's actually in the bus right now to go over there. I'm not sure though. The next day, I take the bus into the city. It goes twice an hour starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Yamaku at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hour. The ride takes considerably longer than the one Nomiya gave us in his car. I slowly read a book as the bus makes its rounds through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let them out. That's the thing about the bus. Like but going with the bus to school it's nicer because you're like, you know, you don't have to bike, you don't have to expend any energy, but it actually takes longer just solely for that reason. Is because not only is it going past a route that is not the quickest way to your destination most of the time, because it's trying to go past as many people as possible, picking them up, so it has to stop, start a lot, and that's the only sort of downside I feel about the bus. Other than that, I really like biking, of course, but whenever I do take the bus, it's always like, it sucks for me, because like, oh my god, this is like almost twice as long as if I were to go with the bike. But yeah, that's just how the bus goes. Eventually, we make it to the last stop at the city center. The city is fair-sized, but not too large, and seems too quiet. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon I find myself staring at the big letters saying 22nd corner. Ding dong! Inside, the gallery owner is intently studying a large painting hanging on the wall, a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. She turns around to look at me, and a smile of recognition spreads on her lips. Oh, aren't you the young man from the other day? Shinichi student. Hisao, wasn't it? That's right. Good afternoon, Miss Sayonji. Please, just say sa. Say. I don't know how to pronounce say. Say, I think say. I don't want to feel any older than I am. You know, I'm so glad that even young people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't just on a courtesy visit, all this way from your school. I actually came for Rin. I was hoping to see how she's doing. Oh, is that right? Well then, you need to step back outside. You see, the atelier is actually at the next door on the right, down the street, and up the stairwell. Just climb the stairs to the top floor. There's only one door there. You can't miss it. I give Sei my thanks, exit the gallery, and locate the door she was talking about. It leads to a dark stairwell, which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. The stairs are steep, and even though it's only 5 floors, my breathing gets heavy before I reach the top. You gotta shape up, Hisao. An unassuming wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enter. Wow. This is like the work environment of an artist. Like, parts of it is like wow because of all the paintings and whatnot, and part of it is probably like really messy as well. So it's a combination of both. The atelier, I should really figure out how to pronounce that word. Screw it, I'm looking it up. Because I have a feeling, I thought like hopefully that word doesn't show up too often, but it has come up so many times now. Alright. Atelier.
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 Okay, atelier. Let us do that one again. The atelier is really just one big room, with the ceiling lower at one end than the other, because the roof of the building is gabbled. That's not a word that'll show up often, so it doesn't matter if I butcher it. Gabbled. There's a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painted walls. I suppose it's good to use natural light for art. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration. No surprise, since the room seems to have been used as storage for a while. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty, since it's not been in use for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean up a little bit, but it's far from immaculate. Oh, there she is in, what are those called? Overalls? I think they're like overalls. Rin stands in the middle of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. Not working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third-hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirt, much like the one I'm wearing. They look pretty worn and are covered in paint spatters. From the way they seem to be loose or tight in some places, I'm guessing they weren't originally Rin's. Hi. Hello. Rin doesn't judge my showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling, anything. She just keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing, probably some weird creative thing inside her head. Perhaps I should have expected as much. Still, I make another attempt at conversation. This is a pretty cool place. Big too. It is. Sei said I can use this as much as I like. I even have my own key. So, how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she's already forgotten the question. As a cloud drifts over the building, shadowing the light pouring in from the skylight, the change in Rin's surroundings seem to wake her up. I don't know. It's like a huge ball. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge. It's the hugest thing ever. Like a mountain growing inside of me. Like I swallowed a mountain whole. It is going to be hard, I think. Really hard. I try to listen for undercurrents of stress or uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that. Why are you here? Her tone is not as unkind as the directness of the question would make it seem. Well, you said that it'd be fine if I came to visit, so here I am. I guess it's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company, or assistance, or maybe some... Hisao, can you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterwards. Her tone is sharp, nothing like I've ever heard from her before. There is no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. Alright. With the silence that falls, anxiety creeps back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. No, she's not like, I don't think she's angry about us coming or something, or she feels upset or annoyed by it. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not an artsy person at all, but I can just imagine that the creative process is something that, I played through a game a really long time ago. I think it was called The Novelist or something along those lines. And I just feel like the creative process of creating things like that, like whether it's writing or painting or things like that, you just have to be inside of your head for a lot, and creating train of thoughts that sometimes just, if you get even disrupted for 1 second, it could entirely disappear. So that's sort of a frustrating part of the process, which is why I feel like a lot of writers and perhaps painters as well, they try to isolate themselves from just people or other things that could be of a possible disturbance, just for a little while when they're busy with their creative thing. So yeah, I don't think you should take this too personally, because I don't think it's definitely meant that way. Murmurs of traffic filter in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. I feel like those thoughts will surface out of the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want to or not. Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Rin's back as my mind races. I don't think I've ever studied anyone's back so intently before. Her neck, hidden by copper-colored hair, which is, again, in complete disarray. That relaxed, yet rigid posture, reminding me that Rin's physical appearance often tends to be as awkward as her various trains of thoughts. Those gaunt, delicate shoulder blades, visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt. The contours of her hips, curving down to her thin thighs. It pisses me off. What? I thought like he was like describing her and like, oh yeah, I like it. And like, it pisses me off. What? I wasn't expecting that. Rarely does she ever seem to be looking at me, whether literally or figuratively. I, on the other hand, am always watching her back, both literally and figuratively. Whenever she is painting, whenever something catches her fluttery attention, whenever I don't forcefully make her listen to me, I can't reach through to her. Rin's heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank areas on the map. The edge of the world? If I went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she's aloof and distant, and it annoys me. At other times, her passion for the things she thinks worthwhile shines through, and it inspires me. I can't understand her. Still, I like her, and consider her my friend. I suppose part of friendship is putting up with the oddities of the people you call friends. I have to admit, there was a lot of putting up with Rin. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week, I thought she might have liked me romantically. What with the kiss and all. It forced me to ponder my own feelings too. This week, I am utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I liked her that way? I wonder if I really do. Damn, I can't make sense of even my own thoughts anymore. It must be contagious. Even if I said a thing like that, would it matter? Nothing affects Rin. Nothing. I'm done. I find her turned around, now staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what we, or rather I, were talking about before she requested a timeout. Oh right, I just came to... I don't know. You still can't finish your sentences? It's not that. Fine. She retreats from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to painting, but instead keeps looking at me with that empty poker face of hers. I wanted to talk about some stuff. I've thought a lot about things. What things? Like what happened last week and so on. What happened? I get the feeling she's playing with me. Why? I have no clue. It is not a game she's playing with my head. I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Still, Rin feels like a puzzle in the form of a girl. She's like a Rubik's Cube, you know? Especially with the different colors of paints on her overall right now. I feel attracted to it, compelled to solve it. The overly rational part of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed if I could be this obsessive about something. Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I already decided what I want to say. Rin. Saying her name with an intention like this makes my mouth dry, as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm going to lock up any moment now. Rin looks up from her paint-covered toes and stops wriggling them, as there isn't anyone to observe them curiously now. The hard stare of her dark green eyes seems like a portent. I like you. The lack of any reaction is a slap to the face. So, I mean, I'd like to like you as more than a friend. What is more? The slow, hesitant words coming from between her strawberry colored lips are not the ones I was waiting for. Neither of the two possible answers that I've been expecting, actually. I feel myself blushing heavily, as is par for the course in this kind of situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. Rin's faux innocent inquiry makes me feel like I'm being grilled over hot coals. You know, like romantically, and... No. Oh my god! What? She rejected us! Oh my god, Rin. Rin turns around, giving me the cold shoulder as she returns to looking at her painting. She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the very last moment. I can't talk about that kind of thing now, so don't talk about that kind of thing. Please. We are friends, right? So you can do that. The silence those words leave behind is deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to. There's no way I can retain my dignity. Rin finally picks up the brush without giving any explanation for her behavior. Maybe there was something in her voice that gave away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholically as her foot works the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavier, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today. It's like I have opened Pandora's box by stepping over some line that Rin didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squeaky floor to the door leading to the stairwell. Rin's quiet voice stops me in my tracks as I'm about to open the door. Hisao. My hand, still on the brass doorknob, is waiting for me to turn it or to withdraw. Yeah? Will you come tomorrow? Yeah. Oh my god. Like, I don't know, part of me just really, I feel like Hisao, he knows how difficult it is to try and get through to Rin, and how much of a special bird Rin is, right? I feel like he's trying too hard to, like, get her to I don't know, react to sort of normal things which normal people would really react to. Like, I feel like, okay, confessing for him at that point, or just ever, I feel like it's a good move, but right there and that moment, it just wasn't the timing for it. It was not the time and place to do it. And especially I feel like, because Rin, especially now that she has taken this big leap into, you know, into perhaps becoming a big deal in the art world, I feel like perhaps Hisao is scared of losing Rin as either as a friend or whatever, and just tries to hold on to her by, you know, by sort of forcing this, not necessarily, okay, maybe not forcing the relationship, but trying to make something bigger out of it, trying to get some sort of commitment out of her, so that he's not less afraid of losing her, perhaps, or less afraid of spending less time with her or whatever. I just feel like he should know that Rin is so busy at the moment, right? The thing that she has said yes to with this whole art gallery thing and exhibition, it's a huge commitment for her, and I can definitely, she has to be focused on that solely for a long time as well, so I can definitely understand her response, but like, not now, Hisao, now is just not the time. So, I actually am on Rin's side with this, as much as it sucks for him to be sort of, like, denied, or just rejected. I just feel like it was just so horrible timing for him to do so, and I think he mostly actually just did it out of fear. It wasn't just like, oh, now is the perfect romantic time for me to do it. It was just sort of out of fear, because when Rin requested that quote-unquote timeout as well, he just started to heavily doubt himself immediately, and just started to get so scared, even though I personally just saw it as something, oh, wait, she's busy with her creative process, let's just leave her be for a little while. But he immediately, all of those bad thoughts came to his mind, and it just sort of, I guess it shows really how both of a insecure person Hisao is, and just how scared he actually really is as well, and how much it almost feels like he's depending partly on Rin as well. But oh my god, Hisao, I commend him for being upfront about his feelings, but I don't know if he was doing it for the wrong reasons or it was just horrible timing in that sense. But god, I don't know what's gonna happen now, but let's just continue. After a night of bad sleep, I go through the day mostly on automatic. I put on my uniform mechanically, do my schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to the teachers mechanically, and thus, when the final bell rings, I still feel as if I had just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time, and I can't even begin to unravel the tangle of feelings I've gotten myself into. I spend the bus trip downtown, staring out of the window, thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the alley of— god damn it, I already forgot what it's called. What the fuck? Oh my god, do I have to do this again? Do I have to freaking— oh my god, it wasn't Alir, oh my god. Please. I gotta stuck that word into my brain.
Atelier.
Atelier. Oh my god. Atelier. That's how I used to remember geography, like back in the day, by just constantly repeating the same word over and over again until it sort of just, became stuck in my head. So Atelier. Okay, got it. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the Atelier 4 floors above Sei's gallery, I'm feeling completely exhausted. Expecting awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Rin at the center of the small, clear area in the room, working on a painting. She doesn't acknowledge my arrival in any way. What is this painting like that's mostly black? It almost looks like the Grim Reaper or something. Holy crap, it looks really dark. The theme in general, and like the feel of it. Hi. I came, as promised. Rin snaps her head to my direction immediately. Was she waiting for me to say something? And locks that cold green gaze of hers on me. Although I'm sure my own face can't hide my feelings, Rin's expression is as expectant and neutral as always. The clouded, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes is like a wall standing between me and her. It is the first awkward silence between us that is truly awkward. Yesterday, both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I want to say something, but Rin forbade me from doing so. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compelling me to break the silence without saying the thing I want to say the most. To my horror, I find that I can't find any way to start a conversation. It's as if I've completely lost the ability to speak with her. Just keep working if you're in the middle of something. I'll just sit down here. Rin nods wordlessly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink into a worn out sofa, picking picking up a book from my bag and opening it to where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, together in the same room even, and yet we're both off doing our own thing as if we were miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why did I come here? Because she asked me to do so yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. It makes me feel awkward at first, but as I recall the previous silences I've quietly passed with Rin, I settle down and try to tune into that same comfortable mood I was in back then. Time stretches, then slows down. The pages of my book rustle each time I turn them. After maybe half an hour, or 1 hour at most, Rin breaks the silence, to my complete surprise. Hisao. Yeah? Are you my friend? It's an echo of yesterday. I know it. So, even Rin couldn't just push it aside from her mind. Caught off guard, I answered honestly. I knew it was on her mind, cause the moment we entered, she turned around, which is something that she didn't do yesterday. So I already felt like something is different for her, even though she said no. Like, I think that is like the thing that makes the most common sense to her. Like, saying no in that position and just saying like, I can't do this right now, I have to be focused with this. But I think deep down, she's actually, the words that she said, she didn't mean it literally. It was just something that she feels that she needed to say that, I think. But I feel like we've gotten through to her. If that was Hisao's goal, then I feel like he sort of succeeded with it. Because I just feel like it's just something you cannot read on Rin's face at all. It's just something deep down inside of her that she's maybe like thinking about or just struggling inside with. But I mean, as I think he mentioned it, like, she has just the most neutral face ever, and she would really be fucking amazing at poker, I imagine. But I just feel like you can't read off of her face what she's thinking, what she's doing, how she's feeling even. I just feel like she just has the most straight up face ever, and it's just, yeah. But I know she's thinking about it. She definitely is. Caught off guard, I answer honestly. I don't... Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about stuff like that. Come on. Okay. She doesn't say anything further. I feel happy somehow. Several chapters later, I mark my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Getting up from the sofa, I see that Rin's made considerable progress on her painting. I take a look at it for a bit. It's still not quite finished, I suppose. It looks great. It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings. Oh, we did it again. Oops. Yep. After that, I quietly leave the studio, catch the bus, taking me back to school. Well, I don't know, it definitely feels a little bit more awkward than usual, I feel. Just like, because I feel like the distance, like, there was always, even before this, before she decided to take on this thing with the art gallery and the exhibition, there was always this distance between Hisao and Rin. And I feel like this, instead of getting closer, this thing has actually sort of, at least from Hisao's perspective, this thing that Rin has been doing has actually like increased the gap rather than, you know, trying to decrease it, which is, I feel like that's Hisao's goal. He's trying to get closer to Rin, but it's really hard and tough to do so. But he's been trying, and this thing has sort of like foiled his plans almost, or something. I don't know, but I feel like it's definitely something she should do for herself, and I'm glad that she's doing it. So I just think you can't really complain if a person wants to do something for themselves in this situation like this, especially if it's a great opportunity like this. So yeah, it's not like they're married or like they're in a serious relationship where they're like really committed to each other, and that he's pushing Hisao aside and you know, not neglecting his feelings or stuff like that. Like they're not in that position at all. They're just friends, which is really close for them, but it's still not close enough for them to actually, you know, for it to matter too much, I feel, or for it to be considered a really selfish act or something. But yeah, I'm going to be ending the video here. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I gotta remember that word, Adelaide. Bam, got it. Alright, see you guys in the next video for more Katawa Shoujo in the Adelaide. Peace.